Hello and welcome back to the Freelanceverse. Thanks for coming back to the channel. Sorry for the 1-day delay. I fell ill on the weekend and I had zero time and energy. Well, I had no voice actually to film the video. Now it's Tuesday morning, bright and early. I'm in Budapest in my Airbnb and my voice is back and I feel much better, so I can actually bring you this video. This is the second to last video of the year. Next week is the last one. As always, I will kind of do a recap of my year, how things went. I'm gonna look at my income, at my YouTube, in general performance, looking back on the year a bit. But this week I thought I want to make it very practical again for you guys. Maybe you're thinking of starting in the new year as a freelancer, as a freelance translator. And I think it's very important that you think of passive income streams. So that's what this video is about. Now keep in mind that passive income streams is not the same as kind of side hustles, diversifying your portfolio, right? What I mean by that, you can definitely do that. You should do that. You should diversify your portfolio. As a translator, for example, you can diversify and do copywriting as well. You can diversify and do subtitling as well. You can diversify and do design, whatever, offer the complete package, right? But this is all diversifying, enlarging your service offering. And that's not passive, right? Because you are paid for the time that you put in. So what I mean by passive income streams is ways to make money where it takes an initial investment, usually time or money. And then from that point on, the revenue is generated without your interference. To be fair though, and one needs to be made clear very clearly and early on, is that passive income streams require a lot of work. It's kind of a myth, and you will find thousands of videos on YouTube that promise you like overnight quickly a lot of money, and this is not what this video is about because it's not realistic. Passive income stream requires a lot of work, sometimes a year or years of work, but then once it's set up, it generates income also when you're sleeping. As a freelancer, that is very important to set up, right? Because in general, you are very limited by the time that you can put in for your work. In general, if you do a craft like translation, you are only paid for the time you can put in. And since you are not superhuman, you need to sleep, right? You're generally limited to, let's say, 8 to 10 hours a day, right? Of course, you're tempted to work more because, especially in the beginning, I was also tempted because you see the potential. So you see that if I work also in the night or the weekends, I can maybe earn 1.5 times as much that month, right? But bear in mind that this is very limited mindset that works maybe for a couple of weeks, maybe 2-3 months, and then you will burn out. So very early on, you should kind of have a number in mind where it makes sense that you put this hour of work in versus having the hour of work off. Let me give you an example. For me personally, I would not work for 20 euros an hour because I would rather have an hour off than 20 euros, right? There is kind of a thresh mark there. I'm not saying that this 20 euros is my thresh mark, but just to give you an idea, you should have that number in mind, and that number is completely subjective, right? Don't let you don't be influenced by other people's number. This depends a lot on your specific like situation in life, personal situation, location dependency, you know, other aspects as well in life. So it's completely arbitrary. It has to come from you. Like, you have to know what that number is. So what you can do to earn more as a freelancer is, of course, raise your rates, right? There's no ceiling. You can always go up and up, specialize more so you become the expert, so you can charge more. But then it's pretty much like it finishes quite early, right? You can become an agency, so you can have other people work for you. That's one way to scale it. And another way to earn more money is by passive income streams. So I have prepared 5 of them for you. Most of them I have incorporated in my business, or at least, well, one of them I want to incorporate very soon. And these are all real practical examples, right? This is no BS, like no affiliate marketing scams. Hopefully, not hopefully, but I know that all of these can be done for people that are in a similar position as me. Most likely you are if you're watching this video, or you are aspire to be next year or in the future. So all of them can be done. They require a lot of work, so be prepared for that, to do that as you're marketing next to your business. But once they are set up, they can generate money when you're sleeping, and that's the number one thing you need when your time is limited, right? And also your energy. And at the very end, make sure to watch all the way to the end, because I have a little bonus tip in there for you. Right, let's get started. Number 1, create and monetize content. That's exactly what I do right now. That's what I've been doing for years, right? I create content in order to monetize it. My YouTube videos are out there. They are generating views and revenue every day, also when I'm sleeping, also every night, right? And also even when I stop this channel, eventually in the future, this will be here. This will be a block of passive revenue that comes in every day, every month. Other people do that on other social media platforms like TikTok, Instagram, LinkedIn, wherever you can find people that are interested in listening to you. And I don't specifically mean this is only for creating a big channel and then running ads on it to create passive income, but there is a lot of other benefits that come with this first point. That's why I put it first. A very big one is community building, right? If you put genuine, authentic, useful content out there, you create an audience, you create a community that can help you with all the other points that will come in a second, because you have a dedicated fan base. It's not even a fan base, it's like people that are interested in the things you put out, have a similar mindset. You have a community, maybe you can collect email addresses from them, you can reach out to them in a very easy way, and rather than just spreading out your information to thousands of people that are not interested, you have a very unique focus group that you know these people are interested, and that's huge, right? Within that, you can even generate a paid membership maybe that also creates another passive income stream. That's a bit more active, because if someone pays to be a member of something, you have to, of course, produce content to give them what they pay for, right? So it's not fully passive, but passive is anyways kind of a, yeah, it's a non-term because it doesn't exist, right? Every passive income requires a lot of active work at some point. All right, heading over to point number 2, which is offer pre-recorded or live webinars. That is kind of similar to the first one, but there's a reason why I put the first one first, right? Because if you have a community, you have a very easy access to offering webinars, offering courses, trainings to these people in terms of, email marketing, for example. So if you have a unique skill set, if you are versed in maybe a specialization, if you are an aviation translator and you want to do a webinar about this specific niche, that is very interesting, and I'm sure you would find maybe 10 people. You don't need to find hundreds of people to create something that is worth doing, right? If you create a webinar pre-recorded and it will be out there on the internet, you know how to market it properly, and you find 2, 3, 4, 5 people a year that are interested, that's still passive income, right? Depending on the price point of that webinar, it can create something of like 50 to 100 euros a month, right? And that's already like for only an initial investment, and then it's out there. That's a great thing, right? You don't always need to think in thousands and 10,000s of euros. It can start small, and then you can create this into maybe a series. You can create it into an online school, whatever. It can be a stepping stone is always the way to go, and then it can snowball into something bigger, right? Start small, think bigger at the end. There are also platforms out there like Skillshare, like Udemy, etc. Also Probst.com does a webinar series. Maybe start interacting with people, put your stuff out there. If someone goes on Skillshare and looks for translator and your course comes up, it's very likely that they might be interested in it, right? Moving on to point number 3, which is write and or translate a book or an ebook. Now here I really want to stress that it has to be relevant, it has to be good, right? There is so much crap out there that is just AI generated ebooks. Like there are so many videos on YouTube that I see that make 10,000 euros a month by generating ebooks and selling them, right? You don't want to generate an ebook. You want to genuinely have something to say. You want to write a book. So only do that if you really have authentically something to share. Do not just generate ebooks for the sake of it, because at what price point can you sell that? Like 3-4 euros, and someone will be maybe once interested. And then, like before, I just said start small, but start relevantly small, start authentically small. Don't just put something out there for the sake of it. That's not going to work. Even if it might work for like 1%, not even 0.1%, but you have much more chances if you put something out authentically, realistically, and something with a human aspect to it, right? That is going to take a lot of time investment. I'm actually tempted. In 2023, I had a goal to write a book or an ebook. Every year I kind of create my goals for the next year, and I remember that it was, I think, 2022 where I made a goal for 23 to publish a book. Then I didn't do it simply because I don't want to. I don't want to say I didn't have time, because I'm convinced that people have time. It's just the priorities that don't line up, and in that year it just didn't line up. I actually started, but then I abandoned it. But I still have it open on my computer, or not open, but I still have it on my computer, and I think I will continue once. Whenever I'm talking about it, I get excited again. I have a couple of ideas. I even think of just, create an ebook with all of my videos summarized, and then like a QR code that people can jump to the video if they want to. But people that are don't want to spend lots of times on YouTube, they rather read something. I think that could be cool. So yeah, at one point I will do it, but I will need some downtime once to think of a good solution for that. But that's definitely a great way to go. There are not that many books on translation or specialization out there. So if you have one idea and you're good in writing and have the time and money to invest, and also work with an editor, because even though you think you might be perfect at writing, you still need an editor, because they will find, as you can't even imagine how much they will find to change. But that's a great way to generate passive income, because once you have done it, it's there for the generations to come. Translating a book is another thing that you can generate passive income with. I know that literary translators are really pushing and struggling kind of to have their work credited and to even earn royalties on it, right? If you work with a private publisher or a private author to publish a book, you can cut the deal with them. Maybe they don't pay you that much upfront for the translation, but then you can earn royalties on the book sales. I think that's a great way to collaborate with an author, and it's a great way to generate passive income, because once you have done the project, it's there, you're paid for the job, and then afterwards you generally earn royalties on a monthly, yearly basis, whatever the deal is. Next up, create a glossary or a terminology database. That's a cool one, because I would do that anyways as a translator. So you should anyways have a system in place where you have different glossaries for different specializations, different clients. So have a structure in mind when in your local software, and then later on, when you have a few years of experience, you might have a glossary that is very relevant, very niche in like dental hygiene or whatever, ecology, railway, whatever, right? So you have a very specific glossary for a specific reason, and people are interested in that, right? That's so important. I often look for glossaries for very specific niches, and if you are the one that has it, built it yourself, right? Not with any client data, but built it yourself, you can offer that for sale, right? And that can be very valuable for not only for other freelancers, but also for clients. So I would build that anyway, and that could later on, when you have a relevant database, you could offer that for sale. And another benefit of that, you can also use that in your negotiations with clients, because you could say, I have a glossary, years of material in there. If you work with me, you can make use of that glossary. So that has kind of a two-way street there. Last passive income stream before the little bonus tip, create and sell useful digital product. I'm saying useful because there's so much digital products out there that are just not useful. But if you have some very cool designs, templates, brochures, for example, for translators to use. Maybe you have a tool that you calculate some pricing in, like an Excel sheet or a PDF file or an InDesign if you are a designer. These are all things that you can sell. For example, on Etsy, you can set up a store and sell digital products there. They're usually selling for quite cheap, a couple of cents, maybe 50 cents, maybe €1 or something. But there it's done by the volume, right? Hopefully you can sell, 100 of them a month or something. If it's a really relevant template, if you have maybe a way to find out your niche, you write your interests in the top, and then this does some functionality, and at the end it spits out a possible niche for you. Like, that's just an idea I had, but there are so many things out there, or like an order management template, or a price, like an invoice template for translators. Marketing template, whatever you find. Of course, you have to create it. It has to be a unique design so you can sell it, but that can be very relevant and very interesting as kind of a side project. If you would build these tools anyways for you, you might as well offer them to other people as well to make use of them and for you to generate passive income. There you go. These are the 5 tools that I use often, and basically all of them, bar one that the ebook that I'm thinking about, but the other ones are all things that generate passive income for me over the year, and it's kind of a significant amount by now. It's part of my business, and it's a great way to earn additional money. And now my little bonus tip that goes out to anyone, not only to freelancers: please invest your money. Okay, don't let your money sit on a bank account. It's of course, this is not any advice what you should do, but if you invest it in let's say an index fund like the S&P 500 or the VWCE, I mean, of course there are years like 2022 where it will go down a bit or stagnate, but in general it's much more beneficial to invest your money into something that actually generates something rather than just a bank account. Whether you go for like crypto investments or not, that's highly risk. There's a lot of risk involved there. For me personally, I'm not that risky in my investments. I have, I think, around 10% invested in risky investments. The rest is in stable investments. But just so you know, that generates a lot of passive income for me. So I had to include it in this video, of course, because it's a significant amount. And that's just another bonus tip that I would definitely do if I were you. But as I said, no advice given, all personal opinions. Thank you very much for watching. Sorry for the nasally voice, still recovering a bit, but I'm almost there, so I hope you enjoyed this video. Hope you have a nice Advent wherever you are. December in Budapest is beautiful, like the city is so Christmassy and full of lights, so it's very beautiful here. I'm gonna go enjoy my time now, and I see you next Monday with the very last video of the year. Thanks for all the support throughout the year, I really appreciate it, and I see you on Monday. Take care, bye bye.